The title of this book is Detective Dinosaur Undercover. It's written by James Schofield, and the pictures are by R.W. Alley. Here's our title page. Here's our table of contents. We have 3 chapters: Undercover, Undercovers, and Under the Weather. And then 3 dinosaurs are going to be talked about in this story, so they gave us a little pronunciation guide. There's the Tyrannosaurus, the Pterodactyl, and the Diplodocus. So chapter 1 is called Undercover. Bring! The telephone rang in Detective Dinosaur's office. It was Chief Tyrannosaurus. "Come to my office, Detective Dinosaur," said the chief. "I have some undercover work for you." "Okay, Chief," said Detective Dinosaur. "I will be right over." He laced up his shoes. Detective Dinosaur pinned on his badge. He pulled on his vest. "Something is missing," he said to himself. "I know," said Detective Dinosaur. "The chief said this was undercover work. I had better cover up." Detective Dinosaur put on his overcoat. He pulled on his gloves. He plopped his hat on his head, and slipped on his dark glasses. Said Detective Dinosaur. "I'm still not completely undercover." Detective Dinosaur stuffed the sofa cushions into his overcoat. He draped a blanket over his shoulders. He clipped papers all over himself. "Oh dear," said Detective Dinosaur. "Undercover work is tiring." Detective Dinosaur emptied his wastebasket onto the floor. He placed it over his head. It was very dark. "There," said Detective Dinosaur. "Now I am truly undercover." Detective Dinosaur left his office. He could not see. He bumped over to Chief Tyrannosaurus's office. The chief was surprised. "Who are you?" he growled. "It's me, Detective Dinosaur," said Detective Dinosaur, "reporting for undercover duty." Chief Tyrannosaurus laughed. "Oh, Detective Dinosaur," he said, "undercover means in disguise. Take off that silly outfit." Detective Dinosaur took the wastebasket off his head. He shed the blanket, took the cushions out of his overcoat, removed his dark glasses, hat, gloves, and overcoat, and sat down. "There," said Chief Tyrannosaurus. "Now I can see you." Detective Dinosaur said, "Yes, Chief," and yawned. "I think undercover work is too tiring for me. I need a nap." Case closed. Case 2, Undercovers. Detective Dinosaur took a nap in his office. He had a dream. In his dream, Detective Dinosaur was being chased by 2 large, scary blobs. Each time he looked, the blobs were right behind him. When he stopped running, the blobs stopped. When he started running again, the blobs started running too. "Oh, drat," said Detective Dinosaur in his dreams. "This is very alarming. I can't get away from these awful blobs. Go away," he shouted at the blobs. Detective Dinosaur shouted so loudly he woke himself up. "Thank goodness it was only a dream," said Detective Dinosaur. He began to sit up. As he sat up, he noticed 2 large blobs moving toward him under the blanket. Detective Dinosaur froze. The blobs froze too. Very slowly, Detective Dinosaur began to lie back down, and the blobs backed away from him. "It was not just a dream," said Detective Dinosaur. "It is happening to me right now. Help, help, help," he shouted. From all over the police station, officers came running. Officer Pterodactyl, Deputy Diplodocus, Cadet Kitty, and Chief Tyrannosaurus all crowded into the office. "What's the matter?" asked Chief Tyrannosaurus. "Oh, Chief," said Detective Dinosaur, "I had a bad dream. I was being chased by blobs. When I woke up, I found it was true. Watch." Detective Dinosaur began to sit up, and the blobs moved under his blanket. Just then, Cadet Kitty pounced on the moving blobs. "Brave Kitty!" yelled Detective Dinosaur. "Ouch! Get those blobs! Ouch! Ouch!" Officer Pterodactyl giggled. "Those are not blobs," she said. "Those are your feet." She pulled back the blanket, and there were Detective Dinosaur's feet. Everyone left Detective Dinosaur's office. Cadet Kitty curled up on the blanket and closed her eyes. Detective Dinosaur patted her. "Brave Kitty," he said softly. "If those blobs come back, you arrest them." Case closed. Case 3, Under the Weather. It was a bright sunny day. Detective Dinosaur and Officer Pterodactyl were on patrol. They stopped to buy some fruit at Ricky Raptor's fruit market. Officer Pterodactyl chose a big green apple. Detective Dinosaur chose a round yellow pear. Officer Pterodactyl went to pay. Detective Dinosaur was about to step outside when he noticed it was raining. Detective Dinosaur went over to Officer Pterodactyl. "We must eat our fruit inside," he said. "It has started to rain." "You must be imagining things, sir," said Officer Pterodactyl. "It is a bright sunny day. Look." Detective Dinosaur turned around. Dinosaurs were strolling past in the warm sunshine. "Go on outside, sir," said Officer Pterodactyl. "I will join you when I have paid." Detective Dinosaur stepped onto the sidewalk. Sploosh! A spray of cold water hit Detective Dinosaur on the head. He ducked back under the awning. "That is very wet sunshine," said Detective Dinosaur to himself. Officer Pterodactyl joined him. "Why, sir," she said, "you are all wet." "I told you it was raining," said Detective Dinosaur. "How mysterious," said Officer Pterodactyl. "It looks sunny to me." "So you say," sputtered Detective Dinosaur. "You try stepping outside." Officer Pterodactyl stepped out onto the sidewalk. The warm sun shone down on her. "There, you see?" asked Officer Pterodactyl. "Now come on out." Slowly, Detective Dinosaur stepped out from under the awning. Splash! A flood of cold water hit him in the face. "Oh, I am sorry," said a voice. Detective Dinosaur and Officer Pterodactyl looked up. Rowena Raptor held a watering can. "I was watering my flowers," called Rowena, "but I did not mean to water you." "Next time, be more careful, ma'am," said Officer Pterodactyl. Detective Dinosaur went back inside the fruit stand. "May I borrow an umbrella?" he asked Ricky Raptor. "Certainly, Detective Dinosaur," said Ricky Raptor. He brought out a big plaid umbrella. "Thank you," said Detective Dinosaur. He stepped back outside. "There," he said. "Now I am ready for anything." "But, sir," said Officer Pterodactyl, "it really is a beautiful day." "You never know," said Detective Dinosaur. "The weather around here can change so quickly." Together, the two friends walked on down the street and ate their fruit in the warm sunshine. Case closed. So that was Detective Dinosaur Undercover.